welcome to Babes. I've been there. This is a space where
welcome.
So this is a space where we are here to live, to love, to learn, to grow, and to do it all together through these conversations. So if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button to have more of these chats with us, and definitely comment, follow us on Instagram. We are there too at Babes'Ivebeenthere, and just definitely engage with us because we enjoy hearing from you guys. Okay, so Amanda, how have you been? What's been going on your side of the world in South Korea?
In South Korea, I've been good. I feel like I'm still in 2020, and I don't know if I've ever explained this to you through text though. When I was like, maybe it must have been someone else. I don't know why I'm confused, but because Korea has a very weird academic year in terms, because I'm a teacher, right, or English teacher, language instructor. Things are a little bit different from back home, because like in South Africa, the year ends in December, the new year starts in the next year. Well, most parts of the world. But in terms of like work wise, especially in schools, the academic year is a bit weird. So during the December, which is festive in South Africa, we're still working. We're working throughout December. We only have 1st of January and Christmas off. And then we go back to work in January again. And depending on when you choose to take your leave days, then we will take our leave days in January. So usually nobody takes leave days in December because it's still the continuation of the academic year. The only time you're allowed to go on leave is when your school is closed. So when the school is on vacation. But because there isn't vacation time in December, everybody's working. So the vacation time only then starts, the winter vacation time only then starts like sometime in January. Some people take days early January, late January. So basically right now, the schools are closed, but I had already taken leave early Jan. So now I actually end up going to work, but I desk warm, and that's just me going to work to physically make my 8 hours, but I'm not teaching because there aren't any students. So I get to do a little bit of personal things for myself. But in that sense, like, I feel like I haven't really kickstarted 2021 because of that, December, entering the new year, but still working and the classes are still happening. It's just weird. And also because I'm starting a new job in like the next 3 weeks in 2nd of March. So I feel like until I actually move, until I move from where I am and go to my new place and, start settling in there and start my job, then I will feel like I can finally start doing things for 2021. So I've been feeling a bit wobbly, and I've had a few dips, Gerry, where I've just wondered like if this teaching thing is actually for me. Like, should I be teaching? But also knowing like if I go to South Africa, hey, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to go home. I don't think there's anything that I could find that has this advantage for me right now. So it's been a process of as my anxiety and trying to deal with moments of having really bad anxiety and worrying about a lot of things to trying to take it easy. So every day is a battle, but we're here.
Man,
and how's it there?
We are here as much as we can be, because I understand what you're saying as far as not really feeling like you're in 2021 as yet, almost as if the year has kind of morphed into one in a way. It's like 2020 has just been continued. It's like 2020 2.0 in a way. I think the pandemic also has a lot to do with that, where because things haven't altogether really completely changed for some of us. I mean, with us here in South Africa, at the filming of this video, we're still on like level 3, but it's adjusted level 3, which means that we still have certain restrictions that are in play. curfew is still very much a thing. You can only have a certain amount of people in a space at any given time. And for those of us who have been working from home, I work from home, I work full time. So in a way, that aspect still comes into play. It's like, okay, we're still in 2020 in a way. The only difference is that the calendar says different.
2020 2.1 or 2.2.
Man, literally. And I think that it's been more so about just trying to figure out, what can I say? To figure out yourself within a space. Because for me, I guess the way that I know things are different is just because I was able to by the grace of God, I was able to travel. So
Hallelujah.
I went to the DRC. I traveled. So I went there for a bit, which I think was really cool. I got to experience a different country, which was similar to my native Uganda. So it wasn't too far-fetched, but at the same time, I mean, it was really cool just to be in a different space, to be somewhere else. Because I mean, for the majority of 2020, I have been in my humble abode, working from home, working out from home, like in this, like, you know, this confined space. And at some point you feel like this is actually getting to be quite a lot. I mean, I'm someone who enjoys being by myself. It's not something that I'm afraid to do, like, you know, being alone. I actually enjoy my alone time a lot. But even at some point, I'm like, okay, I think it would be cool to kind of just, you know, venture out a bit and kind of not be in one space for a certain amount of time. But I do believe that it's true what they say about travel, when they say that, you know, most of the time when you do travel, it's not to say that anything around you has changed per se, but it's more so that you've changed. So when I left,
that experience.
So when I left South Africa and I went and I traveled to the DRC, I mean, it was beautiful. It was different. I got to experience a different culture, a different vibe, a different energy. And by the time I came back, I kind of had the same thought process that you did, as far as you feeling like you're not sure about your job, if it's for you, where you're at in life at this point in time. Do you really feel like this is where you're meant to be at this particular point in time? Me coming back, I just felt like, as for this job, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be doing this. I might want to do something different. I might even want to leave the country, you know, but the restlessness started creeping in a way where you're just like, I don't know if this is for me anymore. You know?
This is what path am I supposed to now embark on? It's so scary, Gerry. I think, like, the as young people, I think our parents would view our life as, you know, a life filled with so many opportunities, but it's a life also filled with so much uncertainty, and it gives you so much anxiety, you know, like feeling like you have to, you know, none of us can really just feel like I'm okay with feeling like I really like doing this now, but I have a change of heart and I want to try something new. That feeling of wanting to try something new, or that feeling of questioning whether you're doing the right thing, it comes with so much agony and pain. You know, like, you can't freely feel like that. You can't freely feel like, I'm a little bit confused, I don't know, I'm just trying to, you know, it comes with so much fear, because it's like, if you decide to embark on a new journey, financially, like, are you mad? How are you going to do this? Like, how can you ensure that you're going to have that financial security and be in a good place, you know, while you're discovering yourself? And depending on what type of parents you have, I know for me, I'm in a point in my life where if things go wrong, it's on me. Like, I don't have anyone to fall on. So it's just so traumatic to feel like you're not really sure if this is what you're supposed to be doing, and you're trying to find happiness in other things, but your thoughts, it's painful. It just it's hard. And these lockdowns and confined spaces are not really making it any easier.
Yeah. No, it's true. And in a way, we do have to kind of recalibrate ourselves constantly, because I think even before the pandemic, our society and the way things are is very different to the generation of our parents. It's extremely different. For them, I think I would like to think things were a bit more linear in terms of, the decisions that you make, what you study, where you go to work. You will stay at this particular company for maybe your whole life, and then that's what it's going to be.
Whole life,
are a bit more linear. But with us, in our generation, it's not necessarily the case. It doesn't end up being like that. And I think because the world as well has also opened up because of social media, because of the technological advances that have happened in our generation, which wasn't as advanced when our parents were our age.
As our parents.
And as a result, because the world has opened up, we have the option to be able to, okay, I want to go here now. Okay, I want to go there now. But as you said, there is no longer a fallback.
Definitely.
It's not as simple as being like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I mean, at least with me as well, the same thing. If I decide I wanted to do something and it fails, it is on me. My parents are not going to be able to be like, oh,
it's on you.
Cool, shut, you can come back and we're going to sort you out.
Here's a check.
It's not like a trust fund kid situation. It's really not. You have to really be very strategic about what it is that you want to do.
About how you go about
and if it's going to work, and then if it doesn't work, then you also have to be able to figure it out. Because at this point in time in our lives, we don't also want to be burdens to our parents. We don't want
our parents,
be that child, because you know how families are. They will always talk about, did you see that child? She went.
That one that's always, she can't hold down a job. She's always doing this, dropping that, like she's so unstable. When is she gonna marry? When is she gonna buy a house? When is she gonna buy a car? And I feel like, so in our societies, I also feel like, the environments and opportunities that we have, like there's so much out there. Like too many options can also be so confusing, because for my personality, like even with the degree that I've studied, I'm in social sciences, and it's like I majored in sociology and political science, and then I did honors in justice and transformation. Like, dude, like if you look at, like, there's nothing specific that can put me or pin me down to one particular job. Like, it's not like I'm a doctor or a lawyer or you know what I mean? Like, it's so broad that when I look for jobs and people ask me, so what can you do with that? And it's like, bruh, I fall in a lot of things, and it makes it very uncomfortable for people, when you tell people about your degree and they don't know these degrees, because our parents studied in a time where it was teaching, nursing, being a police officer, doctor, engineer, accountant, lawyer, those type of things. But now people are doing languages and culture, people are doing journalism, people are doing like so many different courses. But also these degrees that we do they kind of equip us to fall in a broader scheme of things. So you can do one job and you feel, I'm not happy about this, and you want to move on to the next place. But when you have a personality that also gets bored, or you get tired and you want to be challenged all the time, that's when it gets tricky, because you feel like you're at your job for like 4 years, and you need to run. You need to go find another thing. And it's scary, because like you said, the world that we live in requires us to have a certain level of stability. Like, you need to hold down a job for this long, and that financial that fear, of course, that financial fear of leaving one job and starting fresh, and you're always packing and leaving and packing and leaving, and also just starting a family, having kids, if you're just all over the show, like how does that even look like? Those are sometimes things that I look at and I'm like, oh my God, imagine, like now I'm in Korea and God knows where I end up in the next year or two, and then maybe I settle down in a couple of years and I get married and have kids, and then I realize I don't want to raise my kids here, or they're already here, and I'm just this mom that's constantly moving around with the babies. Like, it's so unstable, and I don't know, it's a mess.
I think the great thing about us having that option is that we're able to grow more, and I think we're able to challenge ourselves more, which I think would in a way kind of make life interesting, but in a good way, as far as personal growth and experiences is concerned. Because if you stay in this particular job for 4 years and you feel like, okay, cool, I want to do something different. Then let's say now when you look back at like the past 12 years and you've been at like, you've had maybe 3 or 4 different kinds of positions, but it just makes your, let's say your CV or your resume more diverse. It means that you've had a lot of, you've had experience in various fields, which means that you're able to be adaptable. And I think that's something that is very important in today's day and age, to be
Very
adaptable, because that's exactly how the world is changing. It constantly adapts to the new advances that are happening. Like with my younger sisters, right? I mean, one of them now was like, 18, and around this point in time, the kind of degrees that are being offered at tertiary institutions are not degrees that were there when I was in varsity. And I was not in varsity.
When you started.
I was in varsity, maybe like 3-4 years ago or something. Not to give away my age, but I'm just saying.
Oh my God, imagine.
That, I was not, like, when I looked at the type of degrees that they were offering, I was like, oh, that's a new position. I've never heard of that. But clearly, that's because these are the new things that are coming up. Because when I went to varsity as well, my degree itself, which was film and media production, and then I did my honors in journalism and media and writing. But there were a number of courses within there that didn't exist, like maybe 3-4 years before that.
4 years ago.
So these things are constantly advancing. So I think for us, it is a good thing. We can no longer be in one particular, let's say, occupation for like the rest of your life, and that's it. Unless you decide you want to be, something that's specific, whether it's like a doctor or like an accountant or an engineer. Those are specific things. I doubt that much of it will actually change. But for the other,
actually change.
But for the other degrees, where you're looking at things like, for example, yours, which is like in justice, and then mine, which is in media, which is broad in and of itself, things are constantly changing. So we do have to constantly change with it.
It's controlled by what happens in the world. So in a way,
it would be the worst. It would not be such a great thing, actually, to just stay in one position for the rest of your life.
Stay in one place.
It wouldn't work out in the long run, because by the time you now decide, okay, cool, maybe I do want to go to a different place, they'll be like, yeah, but we're looking for somebody who's in this, this, and this. That time you've
dynamic.
Never heard of it, you've never seen it in life. Suddenly you become the old person, where they're like, oh my gosh, like you don't know what's going on. Keep up with the time.
We're gonna keep her on the desk.